What's up, all my growers and preppers out there? Hey, you may notice when you watch this video, may or may not, part of the video, the intro, is recorded on a whole different day. I went to try to start editing and taking out all the uhs and the so's and all that stuff yesterday. And this first clip where I introduce what I'm gonna do, I watched it and I thought, that's terrible. So I'm gonna redo it for you. I tried to get the same shirt on, my tactical gardening hat, and we're gonna just do this again. One thing I've noticed about all this new YouTube journey for me is when you watch yourself after done a recording, you really see how blah you can be. I'm trying to get over that. I'm doing more and more videos. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not Mr. Personality. I think plenty of a nice guy, but not Mr. Personality. I do really get excited about gardening, and that's something I'm gonna work on for you. In today's video, I'm gonna bring you over to my 2 onion beds. I did 2 onion beds this year. I've got one over the same vicinity, one at the front of the garden, one at the back in the same row. The main difference was I did one with heavy mulch. I did the other with no mulch at all. I did my mixture of soil, the same soil in each one. They're the hugelkultur beds. They've been there, this is the third season that they've been there. So they're getting the same nutrients. I did them at the same time. We're gonna see, because I know it's a big controversy out there. I always see people arguing about it. Does it matter? Deep mulch, no mulch? One little caveat to that too, I used pine shavings that I got from Tractor Supply, because I see all kinds of people say, oh, pine shavings, don't use them. It increases the acidity of the soil and all that. I've been using them for years. I've never seen that. So we're gonna take you over to the beds today. We're gonna show you the difference in the onions. We'll pull some onions, and then I'm gonna turn around and show you how I made my own dry rack and the way I dry them. Let's go. We're over here at the bed that I did some heavy mulch in, and I just used the pine shavings that you get over, I think I got them at Tractor Supply. I've pulled a couple of these onions already, and so far I'm really pleased with the outcome here. They bulbed up very heavily. This is only my second year growing onions. And if you look, let's set these over here. We have a volunteer tomato plant popped up in the onion bed. I haven't had tomatoes in this bed at all, so I don't know where that came from. We also have a volunteer dill plant. A couple years ago, we did have dill. Looks like I have another volunteer tomato plant coming over there. We're only in August here. I'm in western Colorado. The weather here is very mild. It's not Colorado weather. This is the time, I think a month later than what I did, or when I harvested last year. Everything's looking good, and the onions are actually much larger than they were last year. These are the Spanish sweet onions. I really like them. I know that there's a difference between short day and long day, but I'm kind of right in the middle, and we're right on the border of Utah and Colorado. Short and long day both seem to work. Okay, for this bed, I wanted to bring you in a little bit closer. This, as you can see, has no mulch at all. This is my straight soil mixture. Let's pull this guy. This looks like, well, you can see these are so far nowhere near the size. I do have, let's take a look, this one. There we go. Much better. Still not quite as big as what it looks like the average is, but I'm really happy with it. Let's see if I can find us an even bigger one in here to kind of compare. Here's a big one. There we go. Take a look at that one. Preliminary, I'm going to have to say that the mulch did better. It's not a scientific test. It's just something I'm doing in the backyard. I am not disappointed with any of them. Onions are onions, and I love them all. Okay, so on average, maybe a little bit smaller than the bed that was heavily mulched, but like I said, happy nonetheless. Let's get these pulled, put in the wagon. We'll take them to the drying rack, and I'll show you how I dry and cure them, and hopefully that encourages you to do this next year. Okay, so as luck would have it, my stems are too thick to fit through the bread rack for the dry rack. I'm not disappointed in that though. Just means I'm gonna have to change it up on the fly. So I think what I'm gonna do, especially for these giant ones, all this is covered with a tarp. So I can put them back here on the end and actually hang them upside down that way. In all honesty, I don't know. I'm not sure why we hang them upside down when we do this. I will look it up and find out. If any of you know, let me know in the comments. Right, we're gonna go through here, hang all these guys upside down, and I won't bore you with all of it, but I just wanted to show you, in the horse troughs, raised bed gardens, you can get a lot of onions. It's just my wife and I now, Mrs. Chili Prepper. This will last us a long time. So definitely get out there and grow. Remember, you don't have to be a prepper to be prepared. You want to get these onions in a nice, dark place to dry. Now, we don't all have optimal temperatures. This garage, this time of year, I mean, we're getting up to 80 degrees during the day. I have plenty of ventilation with fans going. I've got more fans I can put in here. So you want to make sure you have ventilation, make sure it's dark. They say 2 to 4 weeks or 2 weeks to 3 weeks. I hear a lot of people say. I typically go 4 weeks. I want to really cure them and make sure that they're good. I love onions. I'll take some of these onions and freeze dry them into onion powder. I did that last year, and I still have a whole jar of onion powder in the house. I don't have to buy it from the stores. Check on them periodically. You want to make sure that there's no mold. I do see that some people put them out in the sun for days. I don't really like to do that, and I don't know why. It's just my preference. This is the way I do it. I'm just showing you what I do to give you different options, different ideas of what you can do in your own garden. I'm Steve. This is the Chili Prepper channel, and we'll see you tomorrow.